Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. I'm here with the coach,
John Brent with the vet.
Ian Griffin.
Here we go. This got a good topic today. My man's ready.
So, we're going to ask this simple question. What do we do with school sports and COVID-19?
Wow.
Coach,
Man,
what do you think?
I'm telling you, I'm already stressing about it a little bit just because we don't really know what is going to happen. We don't really know because this is the first time something like this has occurred. What are we going to do if a kid tests positive? What are we going to do if a parent tests positive? Those are questions that we have to find out. So I don't really know at this point. So talking about it as a coach, if somebody on my team gets COVID, I'm going to have to contact the league that we play in and say, okay, what do we do? Do we take a week off?
Yeah.
Do we take 2 weeks off? Do we have everybody tested? And if everybody's good but this one kid, can we play? Do we have to contact the other school, let them know that we had one, but here's our results?
What about, will the game be made up, or will it be postponed, or does it shut the whole team down, or
These are questions that we're going to have to go through. This is uncharted waters for sure. And just from a standpoint of a coaching, I had a friend of mine and I were talking last week about, and it kind of got a little funny. And sometimes I think humor in a time like this is best. Mm-hmm. He says, "So what do you think you're going to do on the sideline?" I mean, and I'm like, "What are you talking about on the sideline?" He goes, "Well, do you have to be 6 feet apart from every player on the sideline at all times, or do they have to wear a mask?" And I was like, well, "You got to be kidding me!" Then I started thinking, "Wait a minute. If it's really about social distancing, it's really about protection, are all my kids going to have to be spread out 6 feet from me? Am I going to need a bullhorn to call this kid down here? Hey, get in the game."
call the play? Or then what about on the field? I mean, I'm sorry, but guard, centers, and tackles are going to hit each other, and defensive linemen are going to hit each other, and they're going to be next to each other.
Exactly. And even as something as simple as one of the parents said the other day, "Can we be in a huddle this year?" I'm like, well, that's the stupidest question. No, it's not a stupid question.
They're going to be on the line, though. It's kind of like, all right, okay, I'm not in a huddle right now, and I'm 6 feet apart, but now I'm on the line, and I'm going to pretend like I'm not 6 feet apart now.
Exactly. So, I mean, to play football, I mean, it's a contact sport.
Yeah.
Not only that, you've got everybody on the sidelines, and I don't know, as a coach, normally I have, if I'm calling the offense, I have my guys on the field, and I have the 3 or 4 that's usually my substitutes. You stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. But can they stay with me now? Do they have to be behind me? Am I going to have to delegate some? These are things that we got to figure out. And I don't know if there's easy answers for it. I think we're going to learn as the season goes on. But I do expect someone, hopefully not on our team or who we play, but I do expect it to happen, that somebody's going to find out that they have COVID.
Well, I will say this is, and we're talking about high school sports, and I want to keep it at that, but I got to refer to this.
Sure.
The NFL, next to preseason already. But I have a feeling, no matter if it's college, high school, junior high, or the NFL, the first game of the season, whoever it is, all eyes are on that.
Yes.
Because that's going to be the example. Whether it's, I would venture to even say, even if it was Pop Warner, which I don't know if that's even going on, but definitely whoever the first one out of the chute is, there's going to be a lot of note takers, although the stadium can only be 50% capacity,
Exactly.
And so we're going to have some challenges with that. But I want to bring up a different challenge is what if I'm from a low budget family, and my son is the star of the team and has been dependent on a scholarship to get out of our low budget life so he can finally go to college, be the first generation out of our family to go to college. And mom has COVID. That's going to be a real scenario, Coach, where is she going to tell or is she not? We would all hope, but we've seen in the last 2 months, people don't act like adults half the damn time. Is she going to put the priorities of life or the priorities of future over the family? Which one is it going to be?
And that's a tough call, because think about it. If you are, say a guy that is up for a scholarship, say you haven't signed with anybody, because, you can sign at junior year, but say you haven't, and they say, hey, we're looking at you, whatever, and it's your senior year, it's your one shot, and somebody in your family has COVID, or even yourself is worried about it from a health standpoint, what do you do? I mean, it's a tough decision. I think it's an individual, but the individual decision can reflect the whole team because of one bad decision. One of the things that I look at, if you're in NFL and in the NBA and in baseball, they're testing you daily.
Yeah.
Some of them are testing daily. Well, high school sports, we can't afford that.
No.
These families can't afford to get tested daily, so we're not even going to know that someone has it until they're already sick.
Well, I do know this is there's been some businesses that in order for you to come back to work for that business, you have to test positive. Negative for
Right.
COVID twice, and they're trying to make that where it's not. That's the case. Only down to one, and in certain areas, some communities the testing has been free. I don't know the
Sure.
parameters on all that. So that might be an option because if not, the question is going to be, well, he has 4 symptoms. He doesn't have 5, or he only has 3.
Right.
He didn't have 2. But hey,
When
he's
do
running a
you
fever.
get-
You
yeah,
know,
when
I
do
don't
you-
know. So
When do you, as a football coach or a football player and his family, decide that I need to go get tested?
yes,
And if you go get tested and they say, okay, it's going to be 10 days, up to 10 days before I get my results, as a coach, do I have to set that player? Should I set that player until he gets that negative result? It almost that you need to.
and then that's going to be a challenge because you set the player and he's negative. Well, you know, if he's trying to get a scholarship, it's definitely going to blow that for sure. So no matter what, there's some third order effects to every decision in this.
Right.
But I see very rapidly the chance of seasons collapsing
Absolutely.
with just one family.
And let me just give you a couple of that's happened to us. We played a team every year for the last. I've been involved with Kings Academy for 3 years. We played a team every year. We have a good relationship with them. I got a call about 4 weeks ago that they just canceled their whole season. They just didn't even want to deal with it. They're a homeschool league up in the Dallas area that's very well known. It's been around for 10 years. I also have another team that canceled our game because we are a Christian school that plays in Te'o, and they're a public school that plays in UIL. They're 1A. We play every year. But they needed to cancel us to pick up one more game of a public school because TAPS kind of put everybody in a bad position by canceling the first. So they're shuffling everything. So there's a whole lot going on right now. Our first week of the season that we played for the last, I think they said 8 years, has been against a team called Apple Springs here in Texas, and they aren't playing the first 2 weeks. So our first week this year, we have a bye. I mean, the first week of the season, we have a bye. So it just worked out that way. So there's a lot of things that are going on. I really don't know what's going to happen. I really think that it's going, as many people there are in the world, people going out. I mean, you have to live your life. Somebody's going to get it. And I think other teams that are coming in, what is the protocols they're doing to keep it? We don't know. So if one person has it and doesn't even know he has it, say he gets sick on Wednesday, doesn't even have a symptom until Sunday, and you play a Friday night game,
Yep.
I can't tell you. It's going to be a weird year. But I got a feeling that I just have a hard time believing that NFL is going to play a full year.
I do too.
And I think it's going to go all the way down.
And I do think, to be honest, I think the baseball season is setting the tone right
Yes.
now. Yeah, whatever happens in the baseball season, I think they canceled 3 games already. I didn't hear the word postpone. I heard the word cancel.
Mm-hmm.
If we go through this a couple of times, I think that's going to index it all.
Yeah, you got 16 games in NFL, and let's say you have extra. I think there's extra players going to be this year in case something happens. But if you have to cancel 2 or 3 games, and that's not just you, that means there's 2 or 3 other teams that are also canceling games. Then you're going to go from 16 to 8 or 10 games maybe. Are they going to shorten the playoffs? These are things that we don't even know. We just want to see some sports.
Yes.
They said the other night that the Yankees game they played with the Nationals, I heard on talk radio the other night that it was the highest rated game in almost 10 years on TV because people are looking at sport. When you will watch a cornhole tournament setting at walk-ons eating a cheeseburger, you know you want some sports.
Yeah.
Cornhole.
I don't know why it's not an Olympic sport.
It's going to be.
Curling is. I mean, come on now.
Would you have cornhole or curling? Cornhole, curling.
Cornhole.
Yeah, me too.
I'm from the South.
I still can't believe how great those guys are just in a few years of
Oh gosh.
It's just one after the other. It's kind of like bowling for
Yeah.
Earl Anthony back in the day. Earl Anthony.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, I still don't understand how curling's a sport, but hey, I'm not to judge it on that part because they're a lot dang better than I ever would be on it. I can tell you that.
Right. So COVID, weird. Even looking at it as a coaching, looking at it as students, these guys that are playing football are students.
Yeah.
Are they going to be able to get into class? Are they going to be at the house? Are they going to be overweight? Are they going to be not in shape? I mean, there's so many things right now. My daughter has not been in the school building since the week before spring break in March.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
guys, this is going to be a difficult time. We hope we get football in. The kids are really, really wanting to play. But, safety's got to be the first thing that we look at. So
I agree.
I don't really know. So to start this thing off, what are we going to do? We really don't know.
We don't know. I don't think we got any further.
And we forgot about the greatest thing ever about football and baseball and basketball, the fans.
Yes.
Are we going to – have you seen the cardboard cutouts?
I don't like that at all. And so I
I
know.
want one, though. I want one looking like me going.
So I saw they talked about our school district that we're in that, hey, they said 50% capacity, but you have to have every other row empty and you got to sit family next to family and all this other stuff. It really, at the end, is going to bring it down to about 30% capacity.
Exactly.
And you're like, wow. And I'm sitting there going, man, I hadn't seen too many of my boys' football games because of the military.
Sure.
I finally want to see them all.
Right.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, and I went to a graduation recently that was for a school here in East Texas, and they had it set up. They had it roped off and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so you were setting about about 8 to 10 feet, and only a certain amount of people got tickets to even get in the game. So I think the kids got 4 tickets per person, and they could distribute those out. But imagine, a lot of these families around here have big families.
Yeah.
It's going to be a weird time.
Yeah, and then I don't even know the booster clubs that you're going to even sell hot dogs or any of that
Bands,
stuff.
drill teams,
Yeah, you imagine
cheerleaders.
You imagine how a band will sound if everybody's 6 feet apart.
How are you going to pay? Some of these bands around here, they're 6 feet apart. They're going to be half in the parking lot, half in the stadium.
Yeah,
There's some big
exactly.
bands around here.
I
But
mean-
anyway, we just want to throw it out there because these are questions I'm sure that some of you've had. You might have other questions. We're still trying to figure it out. I think from time to time we might come back on here and discuss how the night season's going.
Definitely.
Not just with the football season. I think we're going to have a good year. We're playing some tough teams. But see how it's going to go smoothly or not so smoothly with the COVID. And I think, if you have any questions or concerns about it, put it below. Let us know.
Yes, put it on the Spotify, put it on the YouTube, or put it on the Facebook.
Yes.
Listen to us on the way to work if you don't mind. You'll like it. Anyway, so stay tuned to us and stay tuned to society. Keep you smarter, and hopefully we can battle this COVID together. Coach,
Vet.
hey, stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned.